So, we're ready to do this? Do you want to see Zootv?
To me, it's the sound of data flying about. And I like the idea of making the concert a place where you just intercept some of that.
Welcome to Zootv. Where do I start? Well, really the idea for this all came out of the video we did for The Fly. We started to use text and, you know, play around with video a bit more, integrating some of the ideas that were happening in America, Buzz TV. And we just asked Pete, we said, could we put something together that we could use live, like some kind of video instrument? Not really like just images, but something you can actually use and play with and mess with, and something that's going to be flexible, so in a given song.
Wonderful, best ever.
So this is what we came up with. Next thing you know, we've actually got a TV station on the road.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a real quick preview of what you're going to see at U2. Of course, it's just a very small part of it. It gives you just a little bit of a taste of it. So as soon as our discs have all loaded and set up, it's the largest video system that we've ever had out on tour. It consists of about 23 inputs and 47 simultaneous outputs. It's an entire television station that we carry with us. It's all broadcast equipment. This is Zootv Master Control. Essentially what this is a portable television studio that we tour with out here with U2. What it consists of is a PC-driven, computer-run television studio. We got 3 PCs that run it. It's a full-fledged television studio using the same equipment that you would see in your national television stations. We have 10 Laserdisc players, 3 tape playback decks. We carry with us a satellite dish so we can get satellite reception. We also have the capacity for uplink downlink with the addition of the satellite antenna. What we do here is all the images that you see during the concert are actually controlled by these computers and these switching equipment, which you see right in front of me. These are the laser discs. These are the laser discs that we have about 7 hours of playback material on. The show that you see with U2 is not only a live show, but we also have some of the most high-tech equipment out with us. We have instant playback of approximately 7 hours of video information. It's all stored on these discs. Okay, essentially, this is what you're going to see out on your screens during one of the songs. Yep.
Not in the concert, I'll come from the band. Okay. Yeah, no playback at all.
As with the indoor show, well, actually this is indoors. We just finished 18 weeks of outdoor shows in the United States, and U2 felt that they needed to come to Mexico, and now we're going to perform an indoor show here. And what you're going to see is essentially the same show that we've been performing around the world since February. We set it up in approximately 3 hours' time with a video system, and essentially are a complete television studio.
From the very beginning of the group's career, we always placed a high degree of importance on control of our destiny. We've always had a great relationship with our record company, precisely because they understand that and that they don't try and interfere. We decide what we're going to do between the 5 of us, and we then go and do it. So nothing's really changed. It's got a lot bigger, but it's the same way that we go about doing things.
The idea to make a stage set with a lot of different video sources was mine, and to make a kind of chaos of information there, and also the idea to have a lot of uncoordinated material happening together, so that getting away from the idea of video being a way of helping people to see the band more easily, this becomes video as a way of kind of obscuring them or of losing them sometimes in just a network of material.
I'll just show you the walls. They're pretty cool. You can actually get in behind them, which is quite a look. If you stand on that side, I'll show you what happens. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I mean, it's pretty mad stuff.
It's no good if it's just a kind of a dithering distraction from what's happening. So my feeling is that either you feature the band strongly in the way that they've always been featured in the past, or they are lost in this mesh, you know. And I think where it works best is when we're working towards one of those extremes.
This is like Cape Canaveral down here. It's unbelievable. So this is where it all happens. Got like computer which controls all the stuff that goes up the screens, vision mixers, all your effects, and this is like, to all intents and purposes, like what you would have in a TV studio. We also have the capability to broadcast out. We've got a satellite set up, so we can actually transmit whatever's going on through the vision mixer and the various cameras around stage. We can transmit that up to the satellite. It can go anywhere. And we can also receive signals. We're really only starting to get to know what it can do. I mean, it's really, as I said earlier, it's an instrument, a visual instrument. And we're only really tipping the iceberg at the moment, and the capabilities are endless, and we're having a lot of fun with it. It's going to be, I think, by the end of the tour, it'll be like a whole new way of doing a live show.
Sure. Well, out here we're looking at what the control is for the sound, for the lighting, and we have some cameras out here also that'll be photographing the things that are up on stage. If you go to your left out here, we have a little stage that the band comes out and plays on out here. And we have some cars in the air. We have 7 different cars. They're from East Germany. They're East German Trabants. And they're used as a lighting instrument, basically. And we have video walls and lots of video, lots of television, lots of monitors, and different things that are part of the show. What is the function? Just to bring the band closer to the audience and to make it a very intimate show, so that no matter if we're playing in front of 20,000 or 100,000 people, the band can be closer to the people, as opposed to being on stage and being so far from the people that are, you know, that are out in the middle of the show. They can come out and they can, you know, play with the audience, say hello to the audience, and be closer, and it makes it more intimate with the show.
Everybody having a good time, except me. I was at the end of the world. I took the money, I spent your drink. It's too much these days of your nostalgia thing. And you let me on with those innocent eyes. You know I love the element of surprise. In the garden I was playing the guitar. I kiss your lips and broke your heart. You are acting like it was the end of the world. Oh yeah. Hey Jerry, come on now.
This camera here is on a track. It runs up and down the stage, follows the band. When the band goes up and down the stage, it follows them around. Also shows different angles from the band on stage. It's just one of the many cameras that we have for our show.
Any other tours that we've done, we've kind of said, okay, let's just present the band on stage and play the songs. This time out, we sort of felt we needed something to keep us interested and make the audience who'd seen us before see something interesting. So we didn't know if it would work, and in the end I think it has worked. And then that original indoor production, which is what this is, we then took outdoors in the summer in the United States, and everything got a lot bigger, you know, bigger screens, different video sections going into it and stuff. It feels good. I mean, it's been a year of hard work, but I think people's perception of the band a year ago is a lot different to the way they think about the band now.
Well, we've actually changed the arrangements quite a lot of some of the older songs, but if they do sound the same, I don't know, maybe it's just that they have such a strong identity. I mean, there's a lot of rhythmic things that we're doing now that are quite different to the previous tours when we played the same songs. To do with our attitude to technology, we're kind of up for it. We think that rock and roll has always been about taking advantage of new technologies, often abusing them in an unconventional way. But technology's always led music and rock and roll into other areas. Sampling is the obvious latest example of that. But before that it was multi-track recording, before that it was the invention of the fuzz box, and then right at the beginning I suppose the electric guitar itself. And right now what we're playing around with is technologies that are designed for other uses that we're finding a use for in the context of our show. The old arrangements needed to be altered to keep us interested and to keep the music fresh for some of the older songs. So we're using some sequence percussion and things like that in some of the older songs. I think it blends in a good way. It doesn't sound out of place. It sounds like it should be there. I mean, it's impossible to describe except to say that obviously, as you know, when you're a rock and roll band and you get on stage, the feedback you get from an audience becomes a very important part of the performance. So playing in Mexico City the last 2 nights, we've really enjoyed it because there's been so much crowd response, so much support. I mean, they sing every word of every song. It's just phenomenal.
It's very different from playing to American audiences, and we're really enjoying the fact that we're not in America. That this audience is almost a bit more European. I think, you know, we've played Spain and Italy and France, and Mexico seems to have a lot of that reaction and passion in the way that it relates to our performances. So it's kind of like going home a bit.
And the context of the band, you see the drums and These are images put together for the One video by a New York editor called Mark Pellington. And what we did was gave him like complete free hand to work on text and images that he thought worked for the song. And we decided to take that idea and just extend it, and that's actually going to be the One video. It's really simple. It's almost the opposite of television. You know, television now it's like anyone who's putting together a TV imagines that the attention span of the viewer is like milliseconds. Well, this video is completely minimal. It's completely the opposite of what most television is like. And I think it's going to be quite interesting, the contrast between it and what else is on TV.
Yeah, I do. We don't subscribe to the concept that authenticity is connected to the way you play or the influences that make up your music. Authenticity is about whether the song you're performing is something you believe, whether it's something personal to you. And this record may seem on the outside like a completely different band. I just think that we're saying the same things in a different way, and we're approaching pretty much the same subject matter that we've always approached. So part of what you're talking about there, you know, problem with the business or identity as a big group as opposed to, you know, a small group, was maybe just coming out of Ireland and not really fully realizing what was in store for us. You know, suddenly when the Joshua Tree sold whatever 12 million copies or whatever it is, it did change a lot of things, but we discovered that the important things hadn't changed, and that so much of the other stuff, the trappings, is just so much bullshit. It doesn't really amount to very much. So I think at this point in time we're not nervous about accepting that we're a big group, and we laugh at it, you know, because there's so much about this business which is just ridiculous, and you just can't take it seriously.